What if I told you there's a cruiser that thinks it's a sport bike, shifts gears for you, and still manages to look like it walked straight out of a futuristic garage? Yeah, this isn't your typical cruiser. This is the all-new Honda Rebel 1100 DCT SE, and it's doing things that might seriously change how you look at motorcycles. But here's the real question. Is it actually worth it, or just another overhyped tech machine? Let's find out. Right off the bat, the Rebel 1100 DCT SE grabs your attention with its stripped-down, aggressive styling. It's low, it's wide, and it has that minimalistic, don't mess with me attitude. But look closer, and you'll notice something different. That SE badge isn't just for show. You're getting premium paint, blacked-out components, and subtle styling upgrades that give it a more refined, almost custom-built look. It's like Honda said, let's make it clean, but also mean. And honestly, they nailed it. But looks can only take you so far, because what really matters is what's underneath. And this is where things get interesting. The 1100 DCT SE is powered by a 1084cc parallel twin engine, the same one you'll find in the Africa Twin. Yeah, that adventure beast. Now imagine that same engine in a low-slung cruiser. Sounds weird, right? But somehow it works. You're getting around 86 horsepower and 72 pound-feet of torque, which means this thing has real punch. Twist the throttle and it doesn't hesitate. It just goes. And here's the funny part. You might forget you're even on a cruiser, because it doesn't ride like one. But wait, here's where things get even more interesting. This bike comes with a DCT, dual clutch transmission. In simple terms, no clutch, no manual shifting. Let that sink in for a second. No clutch, no gear lever. Just twist and go. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't that kind of boring? That's exactly what I thought too. But surprisingly, it's not. The DCT system is smart, like really smart. It learns your riding style, adjusts shift points, and even lets you take control with paddle shifters if you want that manual feel. So one moment you're cruising effortlessly through traffic, and the next you're tapping gears like you're in a video game. And yes, it actually makes commuting way less stressful. No stalling, no clutch fatigue, no awkward stops at traffic lights. Just smooth, seamless riding. But here's the twist. Does this tech take away the soul of riding? We'll come back to that, because first, let's talk about comfort. The Rebel 1100 DCT SE sits low, really low, with a seat height around 27.5 inches. That means almost anyone can flat-foot this bike. Short rider? No problem. Beginner? You'll feel confident instantly. And the riding position? Relaxed, upright, and surprisingly comfortable for longer rides. But, and this is important, if you're expecting a plush touring seat, you might want to lower your expectations just a bit. After about an hour or so, you'll start shifting around. Nothing unbearable, but yeah, your backside will remind you it exists. Now let's talk suspension. The SE version comes with upgraded suspension components, and honestly, it shows. The ride is stable, planted, and handles bumps better than you'd expect from a cruiser. But here's a question for you. Can a cruiser actually handle corners well? Because this one kind of can. Thanks to its low center of gravity and well-balanced chassis, the Rebel 1100 feels surprisingly agile. You lean into a corner and it doesn't fight you. In fact, it almost encourages you, which is not something you usually say about cruisers. And yes, you will scrape pegs if you push it too hard. But let's be honest, if you're dragging pegs on a cruiser, you're either having a great time or making questionable life choices. Maybe both. Now braking. You get dual-channel ABS, solid front and rear disc brakes, and overall, the stopping power is confident and predictable. Nothing overly aggressive, but definitely reliable. And for most riders, that's exactly what you want. Let's not forget the tech, because this bike is loaded. You get multiple riding modes: standard, sport, rain, and user. Each mode changes throttle response, engine braking, and even how the DCT behaves. So yes, your cruiser now has moods. Rain mode, calm and controlled. Sport mode, suddenly it wakes up like it had too much coffee. And speaking of control, you also get traction control, wheelie control, and cruise control. Yes, cruise control on a cruiser. Makes sense, right? But here's something interesting. With all this tech, is it still beginner-friendly? Surprisingly, yes, because the bike adapts to you. You don't have to master everything on day one. You grow into it, and that's a big plus. Now let's talk about fuel economy. You're looking at around 40 to 45 mpg depending on how you ride, which is pretty solid for a bike in this class. unless you're constantly in sport mode. In that case, yeah, your fuel gauge will drop faster than your motivation on a Monday morning. But hey, fun has a price. Now, let's circle back to that big question. Does the DCT take away the soul of riding? Honestly, it depends on what you value. If you love the raw, mechanical feel of shifting gears, yeah, you might miss it. There's something special about that connection. But if you're open to a new kind of riding experience, one that's smoother, easier, and honestly kind of addictive, then the DCT might actually surprise you. Because it doesn't replace the experience, it just changes it. And for a lot of riders, that's not a bad thing. Now here's the part most reviews won't tell you. This bike isn't trying to be everything. It's not a hardcore sport bike, it's not a full touring machine, and it's not your traditional old-school cruiser either. It's something in between, a hybrid, a rule breaker. And that's exactly why it stands out. But is it perfect? No, the seat could be better. Some riders might not love the DCT, and if you're looking for a pure classic cruiser feel, this might not be it. But if you want something different, something modern, something that actually makes everyday riding easier, then the Rebel 1100 DCT SE is definitely worth considering. So, would you ride a bike that shifts for you? Or does that cross the line? Let me know what you think. And if you want to see more real-world motorcycle reviews like this, make sure to check out the next video on your screen, where we break down another game-changing bike that might just surprise you even more. Trust me, you don't want to miss that one.